Alright guys, this is Brian from the Woods Online, and today we're going to talk about camping around Lake Norman, North Carolina. Stay tuned. Welcome back guys. I've gotten some requests about campgrounds or campsites around Lake Norman, North Carolina. And if you don't know where Lake Norman, North Carolina is, of course it's in the state of North Carolina, but it's above Charlotte, North Carolina. A good 20 to 35 miles north. And I say that because it stretches up. But anyway, Charlotte, North Carolina, for those who may not know, is here on the border of North Carolina and South Carolina. It is the largest city in the state of North Carolina. Although Raleigh over here is the state capital, Charlotte is a larger. And of course, for those who may not know, Charlotte's claim to fame as of the last couple decades has been that it is the second largest financial district other than New York in the United States. So that's its claim to fame. Of course, Bank of America headquarters are there. Wells Fargo used to be there, but they moved their headquarters when they merged from Wachovia with Wells Fargo. Actually, Wachovia's headquarters was in Charlotte, and then when they merged with Wells Fargo, the headquarters, of course, moved out to San Francisco. There's been a new merger with a couple other big banks, and they're being headquartered here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So that's kind of the what the industry around Charlotte is. It has to mostly do with the financial district. Anyway, so Lake Norman is this body of water up here to the north or northwest of Charlotte. Downtown Charlotte is called Uptown Charlotte, just for those who do not know. A lot of towns say they're going downtown. In Charlotte, you're going uptown. So anyway, just a little facts there. Anyway, Lake Norman starts here down in the Huntersville area, goes up through Cornelius Davidson. It says Mount Moore. Mount Moore is not really hardly anything. You got Mooresville, then you got up here to Troutman. That's basically where Lake Norman is going to end, is up here where it says Long Island. It goes into the Catawba River, the Catawba River actually flows down through Lake Norman, and it keeps going. And it goes down here to Mountain Island Lake, and then it keeps on going down here to Lake Wiley into South Carolina. But we're focusing on Lake Norman, and it's a pretty big body of water. If I remember right, I think I read somewhere at one time it was the largest man-made lake in North Carolina. Duke Energy, used to be called Duke Power. They are basically the owners of this lake. They're the ones that formed it with their dams and everything. And basically for power, you do have up here Lake Norman, Catawba area. You do have a steam station, Marshall Steam Station. You have the nuclear place down here in McGuire, down at the bottom, down here by Huntersville. But anyway, we're talking about camping, so let's find out what our choices of camping are. And go ahead and type in camping, and as you can see, whoops, let me zoom back in. There's your choices for camping around Lake Norman. All right, this Bayard Stevens, I have no idea what it is. Over here it says camping farm. I have no idea. I'm going to have to research that later, but I do not think it's anything. I've never heard of it before. Not sure why it's popping up there. Your only choices really on the water are going to be Lake Norman State Park, Lake Norman Motorcoach Resort, and Wildlife Woods Campground. Now you do have this cross-country campgrounds. They do not have access to the lake. You can kind of zoom in here. They really don't. They got this Reed Creek, but I can tell you right now, back over here in this area, I don't know if you see my cursor, but in this area it does go down to nothing. You can't get a boat down in there. If you can get a kayak, maybe, but I know with a pontoon boat you cannot. You have Lake Norman Motorcoach Resort here. Don't be fooled by the name. You do not have to have a motorcoach or a motorhome to stay there. You can stay there with a towable. I've seen travel trailers and fifth wheels, and they even have some like little tiny homes that you can rent there now. Wildlife Woods is another one. They have access to the water. I think they even have a little boat ramp down there. Lake Norman Motorcoach Resort also has a boat ramp. Whoops, going the wrong way there, Brian. And let's go back up here to Lake Norman State Park. And I'm going to start with this one. The campground is right in this area here. And let me pull up the satellite view. It may take a minute for it to pull up. No, it actually pull up pretty good. All right. This is the campsite. The campsites are all here on the State Park Road where it says Family Camp Circle. These are all where the campsites are at. They're all down through here. There's some through here. This is a dirt road. I don't think there's any campsites up through there. I think it's just a little access road. But to be honest with you, there are not, if you're in the RV, there are not a lot of great places. Now these are showing some RVs, but their sites are unleveled. These sites down here are a little bit more level. You'll have a better chance if you have an RV to camp there. But for the majority, these sites are very unlevel. You can see there's a trail. There's a walking trail all the way around. There's a bunch of trails there in Lake Norman State Park. A lot of hiking if you like to do that type of thing. But to be honest with you, if you're looking to get access to the water from your campsite, there is really not a great place here. Yeah, there's places you can probably bring a boat and get it up on here onto the little beach, but then you got, that's not too far from those campsites, but it is a steep decline down to the water. Just to let you know. This is a hill. You're sitting on top of a hill right there, and I know when we camped there, we took our motor home. We live only about 5 miles away from this state park, and we took our motor home there one time, and we have 3 sets of those Lynx levelers, and we had to use all of them on our front. We were backed up into the site, and we had to use all 3 sets on our front, and we were still not level. So that kind of gives you an idea of the type of sites. Now, if you're tent camping, or if you're car camping, or maybe even like in a very small travel trailer or a pop-up camper, you will have a lot more sites to stay at. But if you're staying in a in a motorhome or a big travel trailer or fifth wheel, there's a lot less usable sites available. There's only a handful, and it's going to be first come first serve type on those. When during the busy season, those get taken up quickly. Now these are primitive sites. There are no electric on the sites. There are spigots throughout, not on each site. So you kind of have to fill up or go get your water and bring it back. There is a dump station over here on your exit. I'm not sure if you can see it. I want to say it's right in here in this. I think it's right here in this area. I think that's where it is, but I could be wrong. It may be in this area, or that may be it right here. I think this is probably it right here in white. But anyway, you do have that. With this is a heavily wooded area, as you can see the trees. This is all, even though it's brown, these are trees. It's just this picture was taken during the winter time. You do still have some greenery up here on the hill. During the summertime, it does get hot. It does get humid, and there is a lack of wind up here in the trees. I mean, it has to be blowing hard on the lake for you to get to feel the breeze up here on the hill. So, especially when the leaves on the trees, pine needles on the trees, it's difficult to to cool off. So you're going to be going, you're going to go back over to the swimming area, or you're going to be going out and getting on your boat, which boat ramp is not too far from over here. There's the boat ramp right here. So all you do is just come back out like you're going to leave, and you go over here to the boat ramp. Boat ramp's right there. You can also go over here to the swimming area. I believe this is only the only one. It used to be the only one on Lake Norman sanctioned swimming area. If there's another one there, I think Jeton Park and Cornelius may have a swimming area. I'm not sure if it's an official swimming area, but this is a swimming area here. You may or may not have to pay to use it. I've seen it both ways, so just kind of depends. And then also, you know, the water level is going to make a difference in whether or not if you want to get in that lake or not. They do have some things here that kind of tell you not to go out any further, and if that water's down, it's almost back down to those, and if the water's up, of course, you have less beach area. But anyway, not a bad. I didn't mean to do that, but not a bad place to camp if you are okay with primitive camping, no hookups or anything. But anyway, let's go ahead, and we're gonna go back down to these other two places that I'm going to talk about. We'll go to Wildlife Woods Campground, and it's been a few years since I've been in there, and we were not impressed. It may be just us. Other people may like it. It just was not our cup of tea. There is a lot of permanent sites, which is great for those who want to have like a little lake getaway, a permanent lake getaway. It's great for that. For those who are travel around more and looking for more of an RV park type, you know, experience, not so much. And I will zoom in here, and you can kind of see, and you see all these are all buildings here. Those are all buildings. You do have some sites down in here you can use. Can't remember if that was a camp, or that might be a pool. Yeah, I think that might have been a pool. It looks like it's covered up now. I can't remember what it really looks like because it's been several years. The office is up in this area. Like I said, it just was not our cup of tea. There is access to the water down here. Of course, there's some floating docks. You can bring your boat. There's a boat ramp here. So, and looks like there's a wall right here that you can park your boat at. Looks like there might be some other campsites over on this side. I don't think this was open when we looked at it. I don't remember. I do remember the storage area, but I do not remember these sites. They may have been there. But yeah, it looks like there's more RV sites over on that side. So this may be the area where if you're a transient, you're just, you know, if you want to spend a day or two or whatever, this might be a better area to stay at, or nicer area, I should say. Nothing against these permanent sites, but you know, a lot of people, including us, do not like to go to campgrounds that are full of that. And I want to show you this other one. This Crosswood or cross country campgrounds. That's mainly what it is. You will see some back here. Those are kind of close in. I know that they do have some permanent sites. Actually, they have little outbuildings, is what I remember. They don't have actually big covers like that other one did. These are more. These are permanent sites. You'll see they have decking and everything put in there. Pavers. I don't know why that did that. Let's get back to this. But anyway, they do have a lot up front here. And some over here. They have pool. I would definitely stay at this one over Wildlife Woods. I wouldn't stay up here in the front if I could help it, especially around in this area. You do get a lot of road noise here on 150. That's about a 50-mile-an-hour zone right there. So you're going to get a lot of noise there. And there's no barrier. There's no trees or anything blocking that sound from the road at all. So it may not be that loud. We have not really stayed in there. We've driven through it. Like I said, it's been a number of years since we did that. And here's Reed Creek that goes out into Lake Norman, but as you can tell, there's nothing there. It's like a dry lake. If it's a creek, it's barely a creek. And let's go ahead and follow this back over here to Lake Norman Motorcoach Resort. And as I said, you do not have to have a motorhome to stay here. We've seen travel trailers, we've seen fifth wheels, and I can guarantee you a bunch of these right here are travel trailers or fifth wheels. They're not all motorhomes. Yeah, the entrance here, these are all those tiny houses. Like I said, you could rent. And they're 1 or 2 bedroom little tiny houses. The campsites, I ain't gonna lie, they are kind of close to each other. They're kind of tight. It is well manicured. It's not over the top campground or RV park, but it's pretty nice. They do have the bathhouse up here. They have a restaurant and a bar in this area right here. So they do have these boat docks that you can rent out. We've done that. We've stayed over here in our motorhome, and then we had our, well, it's one of these. We had our boat down here, and you access it down through here. But anyway, you have to pay extra for a boat slip. We did that. They do have a boat ramp, and I will tell you, it is kind of tight getting down in there. So don't bring a big boat if you're going to do that. I think this is a permanent trailer here type of place, and it's more along the lines of these type over here. I guess somebody owns that. This is a hill up here. This is there's different tiers. This is a higher tier, this is a lower tier, and then this is even lower, and then it still tiers down to the lake. So you're kind of on the side of a hill. 150 does run along here, but you do have the way this sits down lower. This road sits up higher, and you do have a bunch of bushes and trees here that do block the sound. I do know that when we stayed over here, we did not hear the road noise. One of our favorite features of Lake Norman Motorcoach Resort is across the street. That's Lineberger's Cattle Company. A great place to get steak. I will tell you, if you go on a Friday or Saturday night, and mostly just about any night during the summertime, you need to get there when they open up, and that's around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. If you do not get there, if you go at 5 or 6 or 7, you're going to wait. You're going to wait an hour. You may wait longer. It gets very, very crowded. So if you're staying over here, do your favor. Walk over here. Don't try to drive. Parking can be a bear. I've seen all of this full. I've seen parking over here in the grass and down the road, and I think they have some of the staff park over here. So it's an easy walk. You can walk up through here. There's a pedestrian gate. This is gated. You do have to have a code to go into the campground, but there's a pedestrian gate. You can walk through. You can come over here and cross, or you can actually walk up here and you can cross. There's a guardrail. If you're physically capable of stepping over a guardrail, you can. Just be careful crossing this road. In this area, it is 45 miles an hour. So there's traffic, and it is not busy all the time, but it can get busy, and just be careful. But to us, it was easier to walk across to the restaurant, and then of course back over. But this is a great place. Of all the places, the 3 places, well, actually 4 places, we never stayed at Wildlife Woods, and we never stayed at Cross Country. Like I said, Cross Country is not on the water. Wildlife Woods is. It's just the appearance to us was not that great. Not somewhere we want to go. we'd much rather go to a place like this Motorcoach Resort over here or to a state park. And what we like about the Motorcoach Resort, even though it's costs a lot more than the state park, is we can take our boat over there. Now, what we end up having to do is drive the boat over, and it's a good ways over. But that's one thing we can do. So if we're going to go spend a weekend or even longer, we can drive the boat over there and hook up there to the dock and just go out and do our thing from there. Otherwise, we use our boat in other parts of the lake, closer to where we live. But anyway, just want to talk about that, and didn't mean to keep this too long, but wanted to show everybody what camping on or around Lake Norman State Park is. And sadly, there's not a lot. Duke Power owns Lake Norman, and there's, it's mostly residential around the lake. You do have some places. You have some places up here off of 150. Well, oh, I did that. Let's go back. You got places up here around 150. You got the Blue Parrot Grill, Apps and Taps. You got some restaurants. You got some marinas. You got marinas over here. You used to have a restaurant over here. It's closed down. You got marinas all around. You have those type of places, and some of those may have food of some sort or another. But for the most part, it is pretty much residential. And I'll give you an example right here. This is a good one. We can bring up satellite, and as you can see, it is mostly residential all along the lake. So not a lot of until you get here to the north, you will start getting a little bit more rustic, more wildlife. And then, of course, you have to kind of go up here into the Catawba River to really get it even more. So once you're down here into the main part of the lake, on both sides, you're gonna have houses dotting the lake shore. So anyway, just want to show you all that. Hope y'all have a good day. Don't forget to like and share this video, and y'all have a good one. See you later. Bye.